Welcome everybody to the Dear Brother podcast, the Dear Sister podcast. Where else are we? We're on TikTok tonight. We're on Instagram tonight. We're everywhere tonight. We're streaming everywhere tonight. I have a masterful, brilliant um, guest tonight. What are we doing? I hear myself. And so we're flowing live. We're flowing live. I have a brilliant guest tonight. Her name is Dee Dee Legette. Um, I saw your social media. I saw the way you dig in deep. You challenge. I've seen you sweetly challenge people. I've seen you directly challenge people. But I really enjoy how you flow. I enjoy how you flow because it's human. It's human. You don't let people get away with the excuses that leave them bound. I did my study. I didn't just bring you on. I did my study. You don't let people sit in their situation by sitting inside of their excuse. And I really, really do appreciate how you work because I can tell that you want to see people see the best in them. And
Absolutely.
so I really do appreciate it. Tell me more about what you do. Tell me about the core queen. Let's talk about the core queen because that's something we talked about a little bit backstage. Tell me about the core queen. Tell me about
Well,
her.
first, thank you for having me on. I appreciate it. I love your platform. You're doing amazing work, not just for the brothers, but for the sisters too. So we all appreciate you.
Thank you.
The core queen. I am the core queen. I am a fitness professional expert. I train clients all over the world. I'm a virtual fitness coach, nutritionist, glute specialist, online group instructor. I do it all. I'm a 20-year retired Air Force veteran. And I love to work out. So once I retired, I just started my business in 2020 when the pandemic happened because nobody could go to the gym. So my program was focused around home workouts. I do gym workouts too, but it was basically for people that couldn't go to the gym. I do meal planning, all that good stuff. Now I've ventured off into all kinds of stuff. Of course, I have the Core Queen Chat, my own podcast and
Mm-hmm.
platform. I'm a model, I'm an actress. I am in the middle of writing a book that's soon about to drop. So yeah, I do it all. Well, they know
Talk.
it's coming. They just don't know when.
I saw the book. I got a glance. I won't talk about it, but I got a glance. It's amazing. It's beautifully put together, and I think that not only is it beautifully put together, it's going to change. It's going to change lives
Thank you.
from what you address and what you get into in there. I want to welcome everybody because I want to welcome into Relationship Fridays. It is so much nonsense
Mm.
on the internet when it comes to relationships. People are I've seen horrifying things. I mean, that people say to each other. I mean, to the point where the algorithm is making us hate each other.
Yep.
The attacks I see, the things we say to each other is like amazing. I'm checking it every day. You see it every day just because of
Mhm.
what we do online. But to see the things, the nasty things, and it's not. It was a time you could blame it on the kids. Oh, they just young, they don't understand.
Yep.
Go ahead, tell
Yeah.
because you know
Yeah.
what I'm talking about. Go
I
ahead. What,
agree.
what what do you think about what's going on out there? What are you seeing going on out there?
It's really frustrating because it's not reality. And I always tell people, I want you to look at 10 to 20 people that's in your immediate circle.
Hmm.
And what are those conversations like? Most of the time, they're not like the conversations on social media,
Not at all.
unless they're using social media as the target conversation. But if
Mm.
if you're out to lunch or you're at work or something, you're just having a regular conversation with people. You're
Yep.
not arguing with them. You're not bashing them. You're
Hmm.
having a real conversation with them. And we're all actually getting along. But social media, oh my goodness, it's like war.
It is. It is absolute battle out there. In fact, when I first branded this, I was branding it as Battle of the Sexes. But then
Mm,
I said, you know what? It's too much battling. But the goal was never to battle. If you see at the bottom of the screens, it says we fight to heal.
mhm.
I think the battle of sexes thing is just something we use in the world to bring people to the park.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, I think even with even though there's chaos out there, and even though we're not seeing it, um, and sometimes in our homes and our families, it is influencing a lot of people.
Mhm.
Like this, the thought that's out there is influencing a lot of people because it's so vehement and people mean it so much. for example, the push out here that no man should date a woman with children. Like women with children are poison, you know. It's like, you know, I got into a conversation on Threads one day to say, hey, you all these men are knocking the women with children. What about all the women who have never seen a real man in their life? You ain't you have no concern about them. In fact, I believe that's going to be the harder relationship. The woman who has no honor, respect for a man and doesn't know his role. That's more dangerous than the single mother. But that conversation is not being had.
Yeah, and you know that narrative is being pushed too, because now there's this broad brush being painted, especially in the Black community, that there's this overwhelming amount of single moms that require saving, and that we need to hurry up and go get them, or y'all need to stay away from them. Like it's like we're this freaking plague or something that people need to just stay away from. Now, I will caveat that with I have a 15-year-old son. Mm-hmm. And of course, as a young man, I would not tell my child as an 18, 19-year-old to go find a person with a child. Mm-hmm. I would tell you to build your foundation, your legacy, and do that. But we're talking about the people that are arguing this is like 30s, 40s years. Like, come on, y'all. Grow up. Grow up.
Yeah. 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 And I challenge men. So you guys know I challenge men. I think the mind-blowing thing is the conversation is about the woman with the child, but we're not talking about all the men who left that woman with that child.
Nope.
That's an impossible concept. But I think that goes back to the accountability thing that we talked about a little backstage, that I'll bring up what you said. The conversation is women don't take accountability at all. Hey, I'll raise my hand. I've said that, right? I have said that because I think what we encounter a lot of times in those conversations, what men encounter with women a lot of times in these conversations is the woman is not going to apologize and she's not going to acquiesce to like blanket right there truth. Like this blank is red. It's reddish. It's like, no, that joint is red. And I think all men have really dealt with that. I'll tell you this. When I was young, I was like 10, but I'll never forget these words. My dad was sitting with my mom in the room and he said, "Do you ever do anything wrong? Or is it just me?" I was 10. I heard it, it burned into me, but I never understood it. But when I became an adult, dating several women, I've gone through divorce. It's like, yo, that's real talk. Because there are times, and I really think that a lot of women don't want to show that side of flaw because shame comes with it.
Absolutely.
Because women are forced to be this perfect image.
Yeah, and we've been given the princess treatment, right? So we can't be wrong. We are the princess. We're handled with kid gloves. We're coddled. We're allowed to do whatever we want because a lot of us get the pretty privilege. So of course we're not wrong. What do you mean I'm wrong? It is reddish. What are you talking about? Like that is always the thing. So a lot of women have actually never been in a relationship with men who have held them accountable because they've literally just let them do whatever they want. And when they come across a man who does hold them accountable, it's foreign to us. And we don't know how to take it because normally in a relationship or with a man, the only time we've been called out is when it's a argument, when it's something wrong. It's not because you're trying to teach me something or you're trying to like make me better. I've only been told something and held accountable when I'm in the wrong or when we're arguing. It's never you're telling me something to teach me something and make me better.
See, we fight to heal because I never thought about that concept. Let me tell you why I think men do that though. I think men only bring stuff up once the argument happens because his fear is if he brings up anything that's wrong with her, an argument's going to happen.
So, okay, so then we go into what comes first, the chicken or the egg? Because if you want me to feel safe with you, you're going to have to help me get used to you telling me something's wrong with me when we're not arguing. Because if you keep telling it to me when we're arguing, I don't want to hear it.
I
Because now I
understand that.
don't feel safe. And we're going back to also, I probably didn't say this earlier, but women, a majority of Black women not having dads. We don't know how to have that conversation with a man because we've never had it.
Yeah.
So we don't even know what that feels like. So now I feel like I'm under attack. I feel like I'm not safe again. And now I'm back in that place as a child, going back to childhood trauma, where, oh, now another man is probably going to leave me, because we're going to go to the extreme, because that's just how our brains are wired. Because we've never been safe in that space before.
All right. So what comes first, the chicken or the egg? Okay, here we go. It's the chicken and the egg. Dee Dee, it's the chicken and the egg. I'm gonna tell you why, because you keep on using this word. Y'all want to feel safe. I think in a lot of situations, men don't feel that they're safe, and the only thing that matters to you all is safety. But then the man feels like there's no safety for him at all.
But leaders lead, right? So you got to go first.
Leaders do lead. That doesn't make the leader not human. You're a leader, and there's time.
I'm not saying that I shouldn't make you feel safe too. I'm saying that you have to make me feel safe first.
See, that's a whole nother podcast.
If you want me to come with you, I gotta feel safe to come with you. And then when you get me there, I gotta know that I gotta make sure that I'm covering you too.
See, but that's the conversation that never happens. I'm covering you too.
It never happens.
Huh?
It absolutely never happens.
No. So it's like, are we keeping each other safe? I think that's the more full conversation. But I think this is a perfect place to go where we want to go tonight, because I think a lot of the safety valves don't exist because of childhood trauma. Now, talk to me about this trauma that becomes invisible in our adult relationships, and we're trying to build off of, I would say, shaky, but sometimes broken or not even ever put together foundation. So what's something that most people misunderstand about childhood trauma?
I think that most people don't believe that it affects the relationship, because a lot of times we just ignore it, or we act like it didn't happen, or we think, oh, we're older now, we don't have to deal with it, and we think we're healed from it, even if we've been through therapy or anything, or if we haven't. Like, we feel like childhood trauma is completely separate from being in a relationship, and it has no effect on it. When there are certain things that are huge triggers, like abandonment is one of the biggest ones. If somebody feels like something, it could be I'll use me for an example. In my last relationship, it could be the smallest thing, to where, like, if I don't hear from you, if I'm used to hearing from you all day, and then one day I don't, I feel like the world has ended. Like, it's over, the relationship's over, you don't love me no more. I feel abandoned because I'm a foster child. So I feel like you left me, and I don't know how to navigate this. Yes. So sometimes we don't even realize that something that we've never even addressed is happening over and over and over again.
How do you figure that out, though? Like, what's the method to, and the chats are coming in. The chat is wide open, everybody. They're coming in now. The chats are wide open. Whatever questions, whatever statements, whatever feelings, testimonies, stories, throw it in the chat. We're going to get into it tonight, and we'll address you. In fact, I'll put it up right now in the Q&A, right? We'll address you in the Q&A, and we'll address the chat throughout the conversation. But we want you to jump in tonight, feel safe, feel comfortable. This is a place of healing. We fight to heal. At what point did you realize that was impacting you? How many times did you see that in a relationship for you to, like, come to a realization, like, whoa, that don't have nothing to do with them or their behavior? This is my thing. Like, when did you realize that?
I think I realized it, and it took a long time. I realized it in the last relationship that ended last year. I was in it for 5 years. I realized it when he called it out, where he was just like, why are you, like, I'm not going nowhere. Like, why are you acting like this? Like, what is wrong? And I'm like, That's what it is. And I was talking to my therapist, and she was like, why are you like holding so tight? And I was telling her about my childhood, and she was like, that's what it is. You're scared that he's going to leave.
Yeah. Did you express that to him?
I expressed a lot of things to him, but he was not equipped or capable of navigating that because he had his own childhood trauma that he wasn't dealing with. So it was a lot. It was trauma bonding. That's what it was. It was it was a mess.
Y'all out there in the y'all can comment anywhere, Instagram. I can see them all. But how many of you out there have made trauma bonds? Like, put that in the chat. If how many of you had that story that you made some trauma bonds? In fact, let me jump in the chat right now and see who's in the building. Oh my goodness. Okay, I should have jumped in here a minute. All right. Okay. Jack's in the building. Jack on YouTube. Shoot, I have a bunch of childhood trauma. Saw my dad beat my mom. Jack, you talk some more. Let me go to your next point. Mom and dad fought all the time. I never wanted to be like him. I want to make this statement even before I read your next point, Jack. A lot of men, we all say, I don't want to be like him. I want to say this to the men out there watching. You will become what you saw unless you make a definite different decision. Just saying you don't want to, and I'm not speaking to you, Jack. I don't know your story, but just as men, we all say, I don't want to be like this. I don't want to be like my uncle was, or my dad, or my grandpa. I'm telling you right now, you will raise your children like you were raised. As flawed as it was, you will be in a relationship like you saw, as flawed as it was. You have to make a decision in your life and then keep yourself accountable to that decision by slowing your pace enough to not see another person come from your heart while you're communicating with somebody else. It's a decision. It's a daily decision. I'm glad you said that, Jack. Let me see, because Jack laid it out. Thank you, Jack, for being so vulnerable. Fast forward, now I'm 34 and I can't act unethically with women. I can't even ask a woman out because I'm afraid she might feel like me asking was inappropriate and would make her feel awkward. That's the childhood trauma we're addressing tonight, Jack. And thank you again, bro, for sharing this, because that's exactly that. The fact that you don't want to approach a woman is you're almost scared you'll harm her or scare her because that's what you saw growing up. You got to know that what you saw is not you, though, unless you choose that. And obviously, you're not choosing it. But see, you've gone so far to not be like what you saw that you're frozen. Dee Dee, how would you how would you help Jack? And he has, let me read one more, his last one, and then Jack is open. You can keep on talking, bro. But let me read his last one, and then Dee Dee, I want you to address this. I've been to therapy. I haven't been able to change this. Okay. So you're stuck in that space. I've never dated. Okay. It's just how it is. No, bro, it's not how it is. It's not a mistake that you're on here tonight and my camera's acting funny because my hands are going. Don't worry about it. It's just how it is. I still hear my dad's voice in my head that no woman will want me. God. Oh.
Jesus.
Dee Dee, I gave Jack something from a man's perspective. I want you to talk from a woman's perspective to Jack.
This is a tough one because I believe he has anxiety. I suffer from anxiety too, so I'm very familiar with how he's feeling. And even going through therapy, it's really nothing anybody can tell you. Like, you literally have to be intentional about this thing. And that's like a fear. It's kind of like if you're scared of snakes, you're just scared of snakes. There's nothing anybody can do to make you not scared of snakes. Yeah. Like, you just have to face it head on when you're ready. Because the thing that you've been telling yourself is not real. You keep saying it over and over again. You've witnessed these things, so in your brain, it makes it real. The fact that you haven't even attempted to ask a girl out, attempted to date anyone, that is like severe anxiety, where you just can't even come out of that.
Yeah.
So like I'm like, of course, I'm an advocate for therapy. I'm an advocate for my anxiety medicine because if I don't take it, it's going to be a problem. I'm a 20-year veteran, so I got to take my medicine. So I would just say to you, pray about it and meditate. If you're okay with medicine, if not, there are natural ways to do things. But until you're going to have to do that work. You're going to have to be intentional about the work. If you really want it, you will try to unlearn all the things that somebody put in your brain as a kid and let yourself know that you can do it and you can unlearn it. And that's not real.
You know what, Jack? I want to add to that too. I think that something that you can do, my friend, is I think that you should write down the life you want. Because your mind, understand this too, Jack. Your mind is your slave, not your master. I want you to hold on to that. Your mind is your slave, not your master. So what you saw has mastered your mind, right? You have to take your mind back. And the way to take your mind back or give your mind a new story to walk out is to write out the life you want to live. And don't write it with the fear of what won't happen, what hasn't happened. Write it out as the life you want to live. Even if it feels like a fantasy and it will never happen, your mind will tell you that. You got to keep on writing. What you have to do is you got to keep on walking, writing, and writing out the life that you had in that you saw in the past, because it's haunting you. And the only way to really get through it is to give your mind a new image of a life that you want to have. Because if you don't, you'll never break out of this. Our mind creates movies like a motion picture. A thought becomes a movie in our head, and that movie keeps on spinning in your mind. You have to give yourself a new direction, and the power of the pen is very powerful. The power of the pen is because then you can draw out the image of what you want, bro. Power words are strong. Thank you so much, bro. And the door is open. You can keep on sharing. Let me go to the next person. Lone Wolf, what's going on, bro and sis? What's up, my guy? Thanks for coming in. Thanks for coming in, man. Deeply appreciate you, Jack. And people say just be confident, but I've tried that. No, bro. Listen, cliche ain't gonna get you out of this. Cliche is not gonna get you out of this. I can't convince myself of something I don't feel is true. You have to create something you do believe is true. You have to create it, Jack. Just like your father's situation created it for you, you have the right to create a future for yourself. And I'm gonna tell you, I'm not telling you go get married, go fall in love. What I'm telling you is, this is one thing I tell couples all the time. When a couple gets together, it is the first time in their lives they both get a chance to create a whole new life that has nothing to do with their past. You have that right, man. You have to take that right, though. There's some rights we have that we just don't take because we don't believe that we're worthy of them. That's the biggest thing, Jack. You gotta know that you're worthy. And I hope me and Dee Dee's words tonight are helping you with this. Let me see. Lone Wolf, I have a 5-year trauma bond.
Me too.
Lone Wolf, how you got the name Lone Wolf with a 5-year trauma bond, bro? You ain't been loaning, bro. You've been trauma-ing. Okay. Lone Wolf, jump back in the comments and tell us why you've been there for 5 years. And then we're gonna get back to some other stuff. I didn't want to not address any of these in the chat. Chat is wide open, everybody. Let me see. Okay, Lone Wolf. Almost shot my dad. Oh, it's rough. They fought all the time. He tried to cut me, was neglected. I'm not even close to my mom and dad personally. Wow. Bro, that trauma will. Okay, so now you know the reason. Man, listen, none of this stuff is by accident. Now you know the reason why you're stuck in that 5-year trauma bond. But trauma bonds, bro, don't heal anything. You just throw a trauma against each other. Dee Dee, speak to that. Speak to a world when you have a couple, they've bonded by trauma. Can that be worked out? I want to put a caveat to that, but I don't know. I'm just going. Can that be worked out? In your opinion?
I don't ever want to say that anything is complete across the board. But in my experience and in my opinion, I don't think so. I think that until both parties are healed and have done the work, I'm going to say no, because
Mhm.
even when they're healed and done the work, they won't be attracted to each other anymore, because they're only attracted because of that trauma that brought them together.
See, you say stuff like that, and then you just go quiet, like you ain't really say nothing. But
Because
on my
I'm kidding
shows, anytime somebody drops a bar, I drop a beat. It's, I got you drop a bar, I drop a beat.
Oh
My
my
goodness. You're saying that the part that locked them in is not real.
No, because I'll give you an example. So I told you I was in a relationship for 5 years and it was
Mhm,
just awful. And once I started doing the work and I started healing, I
mhm,
was repulsed by him.
mhm,
He wasn't attractive to me anymore. And I'm like, how did I even deal with that? Like,
mhm.
yeah, it doesn't work. It would never be the same. We would never connect that way again.
Yes, it's like two people coming together that got connected because they were doing drugs together,
Yeah.
right? You know, certain stuff we can't say on YouTube.
Yeah.
But
The
people
D-Rock.
doing drugs together, right? And then it's like, okay, they both get clean, and they look at each other like, yeah, I was feeling the dirty you.
Yeah.
It's like the clean you ain't. Hey, Lone Wolf, tell us what you think, bro. We out here to help, but that's a strong point. That's a strong point, because you can't stay in love with something that's not real. That's just,
Exactly.
you can't ask somebody to play with a toy they didn't really want, or they weren't in their right mind when they chose it,
Mm.
and just let's go into this, because your expertise again is in this trauma, and I think that we need to be more aware of it.
Okay.
When we talk about where it all begins, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, how I said that, no, that's a lifetime. Let me ask you this, because I think someone will ask this question. Can someone be free of childhood trauma without counseling? Or get free, not just be free, but get free without going to see a therapist?
I'm gonna say yes, because there are people in our lives that may not be licensed,
Mm-hmm.
but they have life experience, and they have the ability to help. And not everybody can afford a therapist.
Mm-hmm.
So yes, I believe so. Yeah.
So let's talk about as well, when you did when you're dealing with this trauma, most people go into survival mode.
Mm-hmm.
Let's talk about that for a minute. What does that survival mode look like? What does it look like most of all in relationship while you're with somebody else? Are you
Mm-hmm.
surviving them? Are you surviving a relationship? Are you surviving your trauma? What are you surviving, and how does that affect the relationship?
I think in the relationship, survival mode is more so, I don't want to say surviving them, because the person is just a symptom. That you're literally just trying to survive you and figuring out how to navigate this new person.
Mm,
But because you're still traumatized, you haven't done the work, you're in survival mode. So every little thing, survival comes from a place of lack. So this person is obviously not, is only supplying something, but they're not surviving everything that you need. So
mm,
you're always fighting. It's always push and pull. It's never compromise. It's always combative. You hear people all the time say that a lot of Black women are combative. They are
mm,
literally in survival mode. They have been hurt and harmed in so many different ways. They have no clue how to not be combative. So they are surviving themselves and they're trying to figure it out. And they don't even know they're that way. They can't even recognize it. And I'll
mm,
give you an example. Before, like some years ago, I was just not a good partner at all. Like I was horrible. I
mm,
had some of the best men, like best gentlemen, treated me like a queen, respectful, all of that. And I would just be so mean.
mm,
And I didn't know I was being mean though.
mm.
I didn't realize it until I met one like, yo, what, like, why are you treating me like
Yo, you
this?
all right?
Right. Like, but remember I said earlier, other men would allow me to just do whatever I wanted. and they wouldn't call me out on it. And I'm not realizing that I am hurting this person because I'm hurting. And my friends around, all the friends around me, they not calling me out. Other women not holding me accountable. I'm just acting the whole fool out here and nobody's saying anything. So that survival mode is me. I'm holding on to every little thing I have. And if it looks like you're threatening it, I'm acting a fool.
Let me ask specifically for women, at what point, you talk a lot about a certain kind of man confronting that in a certain way that makes you feel safe enough to address it. If that man doesn't come, you know, how long does a woman stay there? What else can make a woman recognize that she's harmful?
Other women and other men. It doesn't have to be in a relationship. Other people should just hold them accountable. Like if you see a woman out here, like, okay, let's say I'm out to eat somewhere and I see another woman, or I'm with my homegirl and she in there cussing her boyfriend out. I'm like, yo, come here. Like, that's disrespectful. Like, why would you do that? I'm not going to sit there and let her disrespect him out in public. Like, that's just crazy. But if you just sitting there letting her do it, she going to keep doing it.
Do you think women let each other off the hook too much? Because from what in my conversations, what I've heard is it's like the girl code where I'm a ride for women because I'm a woman. But it's like at that point, is it no right or wrong? And the same thing goes for men. But do women confront women? Like, or is it just like, yeah, girl, I know what you, especially if you rolling with a crew of hurt women, then
right. I'm glad you said that. Those are echo chambers. And when you're in the echo chamber, that's the only thing that sounds right. When you come out the echo chamber, you sound crazy as hell. I don't subscribe to echo chambers. My homegirls called me out. Like the one homegirl, the reason why I'm out of that last relationship, she wouldn't let up. She would call me out. She would tell me how stupid I am. She would regurgitate what that dude was saying to me over and over again until I left. She wouldn't let up. So I don't subscribe to that sisterhood crap. I think it's very poisonous because I can have your back, but I don't. It doesn't have to be to the detriment of who I am. And I don't want you to ever have me out in these streets looking crazy by not calling me out and having me on platforms speaking and I sound crazy. So I think a lot of women don't call their girls out. They don't. And I'm gonna tell you, so men like y'all can be like, yo, dude, like you need to tighten up. Right. Y'all will take that criticism, fix it, and y'all good. Dap up, y'all good. Women will probably fall out and never talk to each other again. Because a lot of times you just can't tell them nothing. And that's just that hard. I don't know what that wiring is. I don't know. But I don't know any women around me like that.
Well, they exist.
They do.
All my life I had to fight.
I used to be around women like that. They would not call me out on my stuff. That's why I was out looking crazy and didn't know until my last relationship when a dude was like, yo, you are crazy. Yeah. I had that trauma, childhood trauma. I don't think so much from my parents so much. I think a lot of my trauma came from being a boy preacher. I started preaching at 14 years old. And so I was traveling the East Coast by 16, 17 years old, traveling the country by 21 and the world by 27. I was a kid, right? And so I was on my own. First time I got on the plane on my own in states by myself, 16, 17 years old, flying back to go to high school. You know what I mean? So I was always on some, I had to lead myself, guard myself. And the biggest thing was I had to guard me. Because there's so much trickery, so many people trying to get over on you. Grown women slipping me their phone numbers while I'm out there, all kinds of stuff, right? Money in my hand, all kinds of key cards for hotels, all that. So I'm a kid. So what I found was that trauma made me guard myself in relationship. I don't trust you, fam, and I'm not going to. So my thing was, I will love you to pieces. This is what it turned into. But I won't let you love me. I'm never going to treat you bad. I'm going to treat you like gold. My mom taught me how to date and court and be creative and all that's in me.
So it was easy for me to have somebody,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm gone soon. I'm gone because I don't trust anyone.
Mm.
So that was my childhood trauma that, it harmed me when I got married. It was just like, yo, I don't trust you. And then trauma kept on happening, burying my daughter, eulogizing her, eulogizing my father 5 months later. He was 59. My mother, 4 years later, eulogized all my family members. And I was a kid, again, I was 27 standing up there eulogizing my 4-month-old baby. My twins were triplets. You see what I'm saying? So,
oh my God,
that sort of thing makes you like real suspect.
yeah.
So even now at 45, I don't leave the house. I'm gonna go do what I gotta do my business. I'm right back. I don't want to deal with. I'm scared of people.
Yeah.
That's Look, we keep it 100% on these podcasts.
Mm-hmm.
I'm scared of people, and I'm scared that I'll help and love everybody like I did all my life and never invest in myself.
Oh, that's tough. That is
That's
deep.
Yeah.
Oh man. First of all, I am sorry for all those losses. That's heavy.
So wait.
That is heavy. Jesus.
Yeah. But
The
go ahead.
the comment that you made about not wanting to leave the house, being scared of people, not you're like you don't want to love anybody because you just you good on that. That is such deep. That's just another version of anxiety. Like that is something that so many people deal with. That is so deep, so heavy, and it's so unfortunate because you just seem like somebody that would just be so outgoing out there. Like I feel like I'm so connected to you right now because I feel the same way. Oh, people are so, oh my God, they're so fickle. You just don't know what you're gonna get. The energy be off is just like, nope, 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 nope. But,
Yeah.
like you told Jack, I hope you can rewrite your story and change how you view things as well.
Yeah. And I have over time. It took me some time. I'm a extroverted introvert. I will hit the stage and it's like I saw this picture one time and it was a guy, he was a rock star. And it was like, them rock star crowds look like it's just a sea of people.
Mm-hmm.
And he's out there, is a picture of him. He's just out there, like in this position, rocking this crowd. And then the next picture right next to it, he was on in a chair,
Yep,
like this. And I'll never forget that picture. I screenshotted it and kept it because I said that I know what that is. I know what that is because another piece of trauma is you start to think that people only want you for your gift.
Oof.
They don't want the person carrying it.
Oof.
So then you become like, people want what was on the stage.
Yeah, they want
And
the character.
Right? So they want you to be who you were up there in the house.
Yeah.
And it's like, no, I'm really just a hurt dude.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's my alter ego. I can be that up there. And then when I go home, I'm the real me. Like,
yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. But again, I think it comes down to our choices and being able to connect with somebody who understands that that's your gift.
Yep.
That's your gift, not your person. Let me jump in the chat. Let me see.
Okay. Yeah, comments in there.
Yeah, some comments, more comments in here. Let me see. Jack, what I want you to do, Jack, because Jack is in here. Jack, I want you to go to christianwinners.com and I want you to email me and I want you to sign up for a 101. I'll do it for free, bro. We're going to bypass the cost. I want you to go to christianwinners.com right now and I want you to leave me a message and your information to set up a 101 with you. You do not have to be stuck, bro. I know why you feel stuck, and you have a right to feel that way. Your life has put you there. But that's why I'm so open with my stories and how I feel, to let you know you don't have to be there. I've been suicidal throughout this. If I let you search this tattoo, my man, you'll find cut marks in here where I tried to bleed to death. I know, as a leader, I know where you at, but I came back, and you're not on here by accident, bro. This is spiritual wisdom. This not just a place to, this is spiritual wisdom, bro. Where we lift you up, and I pray about these podcasts and believe that every word that comes out of our mouth touches people where we can't touch them. You contact me, bro. I'll set up a one-on-one with you, and we'll get you right. We'll get you right. All right. I can't fix you, but I'll hold your hand, and I'll give you everything I got, including my lowest points and how I got better, bro. You deserve the best. I love you, Jack. You hear what I'm saying? I love you. You matter to me. Yesterday is history, and tomorrow's a mystery, bro. All you got is right now, and this is your right now. If you want to change, hit my website right now, Jack. Let me see. Levon Howard. Jack, he says to Jack, I appreciate your vulnerability and transparency. You have to forgive and let go of trauma so you can so you can be free for you and for the future that is to come. That's a fact. Thank you for loving Jack, bro. Let me see. Levon, trauma is not always something negative. It can be something you didn't see in your relationships growing up that make you fearful in approaching women, like it was for me growing up. See, Jack, now, and I know Levon, bro. I know Levon. I've been knowing Levon a long time. Levon is right where you at. He knows where you at. Let me see where we at. All right. Dee Dee, you got 10 more minutes?
I do.
You got 10 more minutes? You got 10 more minutes to share in this room?
Absolutely.
All right. We talked about this segment. I want to go to it. You can't heal what you hide. I want to see if you will open up some and share a story. That giggle right you know, you can hear 1,000 words. Just Andrew Graham, thanks for coming through, my man, my guy. Thanks for coming through. Thanks, man. Yeah, we're trying to do some good stuff, man. Trying to do some good stuff. Thank you for appreciating the show tonight, Andrew. Let me see. Can you share a personal story? I mean, personal / internet. Of places you tried to just hide, where it was like, I'm gonna hide this right here.
Jesus. Oh Lord.
You came to the right place. Ain't no giants in here. We just
Let's see. You want me to talk about relationship hiding or childhood? Where you want me to go with this? Because I can hear a lot of stuff.
Let's go All right. Now remember, you did this, so when I asked this question, let's go a childhood thing you hid that you found yourself doing in adult relationships, or leaning toward that same type of hiding.
That's tough. Let me think. Oh man, where did I hide as a child?
Even if it was feelings, like certain feelings about yourself, feelings about people.
I never thought I would. You know what it is? This is it right here. Feeling like I didn't deserve certain things. Like I would accept the bare minimum from men because I didn't think I deserved any more. Because as a kid, I don't feel like I got. Of course, I don't feel like I got the things that I needed. My mom was addicted to drugs. I didn't meet my dad till I was 19. And I just felt like anytime somebody gave me the smallest thing, it would be amplified in my mind. So on the outside, you would think like, oh yeah, I get what I want. But in reality, I'm just hiding. I'm like, I'm just happy to get the smallest. I don't care. Just give me something. I just want something. Yeah.
I'm about to put you on the couch. Let me sit here. When you felt like that in your childhood, Did that affect you in your relationships early on in your adulthood, where it was like somebody didn't have to give you much of anything for you to feel like it was the world?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And that starts from when I was 17 with my daughter's dad, getting pregnant with her at 17. It could just be a phone call. He actually called me. Like, I'm just happy that somebody is giving me something. And I will hold on to it really tight. You know, I didn't, and even like going to my last relationship, I'm talking, my friends would be like, what is wrong with you? He's literally giving you the bare minimum and you're giving him everything. And I just recently connecting those dots. Like, I just want something.
Ladies, if you're in the chat and you've been through that, if you find yourself over giving, over sharing, share why you do that, or the trauma that made you do that. There's one thing I'm gonna tell you about men. Men can always smell the girl who never had.
Mm-hmm.
It could be 7 women in a gala, and they're all fabulously beautiful, and it doesn't matter. Like, it's something that a woman gives off that you can tell, and it's not. It's almost spiritual, because it does not a look.
Yep.
But it's almost like a
it's the energy.
Like, it's an energy of lack. Like, I need something.
Yep. It's desperation. That's what it is. It's desperation.
Just like a man who needs something, he overdoes it even to talk to a woman. Like, the conversation isn't even regular. It's like you I'm sure you had a man come to you just trying to meet you. He's saying so much, like, telling you so much, and it's like, why are you telling me all this? It's like the desire to be liked. And most of the time that doesn't come, and that's what we're talking about tonight. It doesn't come from a girl not liking you. It comes from your mom not showing you showing you love, but not like.
Yeah. Yep.
Because how many of us have experienced that in our homes growing up, where I love you, but I don't like you. Like, I don't spend time with you. I don't hear your conversations. I don't hear what happened at the end of your at school today. You know, things like that. And then we take that into relationships, where either we accept the bare minimum, or we just overshare everything, and we're dying for love.
Yep. And it's funny you said that, because the relationship I was in before was so abusive, especially emotionally. And he would say that to me. He would say, I don't even like you. Like, that's why I don't come over there. I don't like you. And I'm like, damn, what I do?
Right.
And I was literally giving him, when I say everything. And my friend is like, stop. She's like, stop. And once I stopped, it was like he drowned. And he was like grasping for straws, like trying, like, and now it's like, no, you can't say nothing to me at all.
How long did it take you to get there?
Oh man, 5 years.
5 years.
5 years.
Yeah. It takes a long time sometimes to, let me say it this way. Sometimes I think it takes a long time sometimes not to realize, but it takes a long time to accept.
Yeah. It took one line from my homegirl last year. And she said to me, she said, I wish that you could see you how I see you. That clicked, the light bulb, the firework, everything went off for me. And I literally broke down. I was like, I finally get it.
Goodness gracious. Let me hit this chat. Goodness. Andrew, my man, I tried to hide in ministry. When I'm called so much further beyond the church.
That's a bar. That's a bar.
Every bar.
It's a bar.
Every bar needs a beat, bro. Let's drop it. And because you said that, Andrew, I want all y'all to go get my book off christianwinners.com. You see what it's called? I left church to serve God. This is after 26 years of giving my life to the church and ministry. It ain't that I don't love God, but y'all stuck in the box thinking y'all serving God. Woo. And I'm going to tell you right now, my whole life story is right here in this book. So that's why it's called 1441. I started at 14. I got this revelation at 41. I traveled this whole entire world, lifting everybody up, and lost myself in ministry, bro. Y'all can go get it right now. That was a yeah, bro. Go get it, because I understand it. I understand some of y'all out there to get married. You married the wrong person because the church wanted them. You didn't want them.
I almost threw something at this screen.
Because it's real talk. Because guess what we do? We over spiritualize everything. There's a lot of you men and women out there that you shouldn't have never got married. You didn't want to get married. Somebody told you had to get married. Especially you teachers and preachers out there, you had to get married to somebody. You married the wrong person, and you looking. And this is the thing. This is why this show is for grown folks. It ain't that the person's a bad person. They're just a bad person for you.
Yep.
You right? And I'm not saying this for you, Drew, but I understand what it is to you hide behind meeting the needs of other people. Somebody asked me one time, Christian, what makes you happy? I said, helping other people. That sounds cute. Until you look up and you 40 and you've been through dialysis. I lost my kidneys, sick.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I was on dialysis at 37 years old. Still pastoring, still traveling the country teaching. What? Used to have to get my secretary to set up dialysis in different cities for me, because I was go to a city, teach on a Friday night, do dialysis on a Saturday morning, teach Saturday night, teach Sunday morning, fly home, teach at my church, and roll. Almost 200 something days a year I was on the road. Right? Ministry. Then I looked up one day and my body wouldn't work and nothing was working. And I was on dialysis for 2.5 years.
Wow.
And you know what? I'm glad I lost. I'm glad I lost, because I found me.
And sometimes that's what it takes. God will bring you to your knees to get your attention.
100%. Because you're so lost and you get lost in even relationship. You forget who you are. People forget about that. A unit is still made up of two individuals. And what strengthens that unit is the two individuals.
Yep.
In union. We fall in love with the union. Forget yourself, forget your needs, forget what makes you happy. Especially you brothers out there, you're dying to make a woman happy, and you have worked to make a woman happy. You forgot about your own happiness, and then you wonder why you cheating somewhere, because this other person made you see you. Cheating don't start with sex. Cheating starts with a conversation. I get it. Let me see. I love that the brothers isn't here tonight. Usually the ladies are flooding on Friday night. Question: if trauma is still present, even if a man gave you a lot of himself before marriage, would a woman know what to do with that?
So that's a loaded question. It first of all depends on what type of trauma it is. I'm assuming that I'm assuming the question is, would a woman know what to do with the trauma?
All right, let me read it again. If trauma is still present, even if a man gave you a lot of himself before marriage, okay, would a woman know what to do with that? Well, clean that up for me a little bit, bro. Help me out with that, because it's forming to be a really great question, but I really want to understand it, and I'm definitely throwing it Dee Dee's way. Well, I'm not ignoring you, bro. Please, come back with that. Andrew Grantham. And we can smell the other extreme as well. Yes, we can. Yes, we can. We can smell the top tier, and we can smell the low-lying fruit. Yes, we can. We can even smell the fruit that fell to the ground.
And it's funny y'all say that, because I can tell the absolute difference in the men that I was attracting before and the men I attract now. Well, I have a man now, but he is leaps and bounds different in every way, means everything compared to the ones I was attracting before. Not to say that all of them were bad, but the ones that I did attract that were good, I definitely wasn't ready for them. Definitely was, and they were trying to make me ready, and it just wasn't gonna work. But it's a big difference in being healed. Big difference.
Because you ultimately you attract yourself.
Yeah.
I think that's what people, men and women, we need to realize that we attract ourselves. Like if you're feeling like trash, you're going to attract a trash person. That's just what it is.
For the most part.
Or you're going to destroy a good person.
Well, no, it's a caveat to that. And one of my good friends, mentors told me, he was like, you're going to attract everybody. You got to decipher which ones to pick. The problem is I'm picking the wrong ones.
Yes. You're picking yourself.
Because of I'm picking the wrong one. I'm attracting whoever, but the ones I'm picking that's what the problem was.
Very good. Very good point. Very good point. Let me see. Okay, Jack. I mean, if you're attractive, you can have a messed up childhood and a bunch of insecurities, and you'll still get a woman that's interested. They probably won't stay, but at least you're getting interest.
Well, I mean, and I'll say a lot of people can get, like, women will say it ain't they'll say what's the word? The saying they say the easiest thing to get is a man. Yeah, but can you keep him? Yeah, of course a woman can get a man. That's
100%.
That's human nature. But can you keep them?
Yeah. Same thing for men. I think, can you keep her? You know, and not just keep her happy.
Especially the one they want.
Go into that.
I mean, because a lot of men, they say men control access to relationships, right? That's what they say.
That's what they say.
Okay, so the woman you want, does she want you? And if she does, can you keep her? Do you have the skills to keep her?
You may. You may have the skills to keep her, or you may ruin the best thing in your life.
That happens very often.
See,
on both ends. Yeah. On both ends. It happens so often.
Yeah. It does happen a lot. And it's like, and we all say, I'm looking. You done saw. You know, no adult can convince me they never met the right person.
Right.
I'm sorry.
Unless they just absolute,
Even if they absolute, they probably met someone who was willing to deal with it, willing to love them through it.
You're right.
I think a lot of times we either don't feel worthy or we haven't loved ourselves through anything. So we wouldn't even be able to help somebody love us or show someone how to love us.
Or those people, most of the time, the type of people that want us in that way, we don't want them. We're just not. I mean, you hear all the time, like, especially like when we were in high school, you have like the Urkel type guys, but Urkel loved Laura Winslow.
He loved her.
Without a doubt.
Loved her to pieces.
No question. But Laura didn't like him.
She didn't like him.
You would never find another man that loved her like Steve Urkel.
So you got to go into that for me, because I'm sure a lot of men out here have this question. It's been said that the woman likes the bad boy, Okay. So what is that, number one? I've heard theories, but what is it? And why do a lot of women end up wanting the Urkel after she may not be wanted no more by nobody? With all respect,
I tell you that I can't speak from personal experience, because my first baby daddy was definitely not swagged out at all. Cornball to the max. So I can't speak from my person.
You can't do that while I'm drinking water. You can't. Nope.
Listen, if I showed y'all some videos with how he acts now, y'all be like, what? That should, I'm sorry. I apologize to my daughter all the time. But nope. So I didn't want the bad boy in high school. I ran from the bad boys. So that wasn't my ministry. But I think for a lot of women, especially when they're younger, it's just the aesthetic. It just looks cool.
Mm-hmm.
I
Mm-hmm.
don't think when we're younger, we don't think about legacy and like building a family. We don't think about stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Women really fantasize about a lot of stuff. They're really delusional. So they think about wedding, what it looks like. They don't think about wife, husband, the actual thing.
Mm-hmm.
They just think about what things look like.
Yeah.
Not the actuality of it. So yeah, sorry, geeks. Y'all gonna have to wait. Or be a passport bro. I don't know.
No, nope,
I'm sorry.
I ain't going down that road with the
That was me being
passport bros.
facetious.
The passport bros come back with diseases, less money.
Look, I had them on my show. It was a disaster.
You had a passport bro on your show?
I had 2 of them on my show. It was a disaster, and it was a hot mess.
Okay, I want to talk about this, and we're gonna give this 4 minutes, because I'm very interested in this. Do you think the passport bro idea or concept? Do you think that's driven by some trauma?
Absolutely, 1000%. And I will say that with full confidence because of the conversations I had with them. And I tried to tell them that they had childhood trauma and they need to go address it. Specifically for the Asian guy, because the Asian guy was adopted. So he felt out of place. He had been married previously to an American woman who he felt used him, but she was kind of the same type of personality as his adopted family, where he still didn't feel like he had a place. So he went to whatever South American country, married this woman who will never come to the United States because she can't. I'm like, dude, this doesn't even make sense. But he wants to feel like he's a part of something. He wants to feel like he's welcomed and he's accepted. So that was easy for me to dissect with that one. The black dude, he tested my spirit. Okay.
You please drop me the link to this show so I can watch it tonight.
I definitely will. He actually was on Tamron Hall's show, the black guy, because the woman that he married cleaned him out. It was a Russian woman, when he brought her back to the United States, she took everything, all his furniture out the house, all his money.
It's rough.
But he was adamant about being very specific about never dating a Black American woman. And he said because when he was in high school, he was in college, like he would try to date Black women and they wouldn't date him. They didn't like him. And I listened to him talk and I'm like, I can tell you why, but I'm not, because I'm not your therapist. But he was like very condescending. He was very off-putting. He was very like adamant about and being braggadocious about his degrees and what he had and all of this. And I asked him a specific question. I said, I understand that you don't want to date Black American women, whatever. So why didn't you go overseas and get a Black woman overseas? Because you said it's the American culture, but you went to white women over there and they did you worse than the Black women did you in the US, but you still are adamant about dating the white women. I didn't get it. He didn't really have an answer. So
no, because the answer is I got trauma, and nobody. That's nobody's answer. That I got trauma. It's just it was a trauma. It was a trauma decision, bro. That's it. Let me see. Jack, passport bro is all about transactional relationships. Okay, it's a lot of those here in America too. But yes, I get it. It's all about transactional relations, huh? These men are losers. Jesus. These men are losers back home, and want to be able to exploit women and thrive on the whole power dynamic thing.
There you go.
But from what I'm hearing is that they get overpowered.
No, they get taken to the cleaners. They're paying for this stuff.
They're paying for it, but then what happens is I believe that these women, they're not just like sitting there like, oh, come take me. They're sitting there like, yeah, come take me. You know, it's like you're being hooked, and you think you're just going with your passport to go. It's like, no, we hooked you online, pulled you right in. Yeah. I don't know. What it is no self-value.
That's exactly what it is. Yeah, and they're using these excuses that American women are this way. That's why they have to go over there. Because the Asian guy specifically said that he had never had a woman put tanning lotion on his back. I'm like, sir, really? You're just a bad judge of character. If you can't get a bite to put, like, come on now, like you doing too much. But you paid her to put it on your back, so now she's the best thing since sliced bread.
Yeah, he got a hole in his heart.
Absolutely.
He got a hole in his heart. We got a lady in the building. I'm so surprised by this. Man, y'all just we got a lady in the building. Rosetta. Somebody told me that most people won't choose the person that loves them the most, but they will choose the one they love the most.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't agree at first, but when you think about it, the person, yeah.
Yep. That's the guy. That is it. Just think about yourself. I'm like, I want him. And he'd be like, I want you. And I'm like,
That's crazy. I'm dead off that.
No, thank you.
No, that's true. That's true. I've been but I don't know if this was trauma. See, you're gonna have me think about trauma for a while now. Because you look back and it's like I've seen times in my life where like I had somebody who was really kind to me. She was very like it was crazy. Like, but see, that was the thing. It was crazy that she was this kind. Like it's like all she wanted to do was talk about me and my needs and my desires and my wants. And I'm like,
and that traumatized you.
No. But see, when I look back on it, I think it was trauma because I was so used to giving and making sure I didn't receive. Right? Making sure I didn't receive. Here's an example. I had done work up in Rochester, New York, teaching for some years, just helping. When I was on dialysis, I was sitting there, it was like 2.5 years went by, and I said, look, Lord, I need a kidney by the time I'm 40. I need a kidney for my 40th birthday. That's what I said. And the doctor came to me and said, listen, your blood type is very tough, so you probably won't have a kidney for between 8 and 10 years. And I'm like, I'm going to die because I felt myself dying. A woman called that weekend and was like, I'm going to give you my kidney. And I'm like, the very weekend the doctor said that wasn't going to happen. I'm going to give you a kidney. I'm like, I start talking to her like she was an enemy. The trauma of receiving, the trauma of not wanting to receive, the trauma of hiding behind being a giver made me reject life.
Jesus.
I don't know how to take a quarter from somebody. So now you talking about a whole organ? No, we ain't doing that.
Right.
You need that. Listen, and I'm talking to her like a doctor on why she don't need to do it and all this whole thing. That's how bad it was. Now, like a strong black woman, she told me shut my mouth and give me the doctor's phone number, which I did because she wasn't having no other way. Doctor received it in 24 hours, perfect match. And I got my kidney. I was supposed to get my kidney on my 40th birthday. They did schedule it, but I didn't take it. Long story. Not really long story. My birthday is December 7th. I was supposed to have a kidney on December 6th. But God set it up where a church in Dallas brought me there to teach. And the Lord made it so where they gave me this massive amount of money to be able to take care of me and my family. One service I taught, and they gave me this amount of money to be able to take care of me and my family. Didn't even know I was getting the kidney, but God had it set up where I would have the funds because this was 2020. Not only was I about to, January 3rd, 2020 is when I got my kidney. This is before they knew COVID was COVID. So I went into isolation because of the kidney. And then COVID came and I had enough money to take care of me and my family through the whole piece.
Wow.
God lined the whole thing up. But I was fighting her because of my own trauma. Yeah. Yeah.
Woo.
Let me go back here though to what Rosetta said, because somebody told me that most people won't choose the person that loves them. That's facts.
Yep.
Why we do that?
I don't know. We're just wired that way. It's weird. It's weird. Everybody wants what they can't have.
See, but that, you know, where that go all the way back to the book of Genesis, right? With that tree, right? We still going to go get fruit off trees we ain't supposed to be touching, huh?
Ooh, child, listen.
We still want that.
Ooh, Adam's supposed to smack that fruit out of her hand.
He could. See, that's a whole nother podcast. we need to have a whole podcast on why Adam took that fruit.
I tell people all the time, I'm like, listen, God gave Adam the instruction. He didn't give it to Eve. He gave it to Adam.
He did.
Eve could have ate every apple off that tree and nothing would have happened.
No, you're right. See, but you're not giving the story the credence that it deserves.
I'm just saying, like, the scales didn't fall off until Adam bit the fruit. We were still good.
Okay. But something happened before that. See, you want to ignore that part.
You talking about the little snake?
The little snake. Okay. See, that's what we talked about earlier. Hey, y'all want to make everything the little. No, it was big. Snake. All right, so let's go with the little snake. The little snake wasn't the problem either. The snake knew who to go to that can get to Adam.
But Adam was supposed to stand 10 toes down what God told him not to do.
I'm with you.
And he was supposed to smack the fruit out of Eve's hand.
We fight to heal. So you gotta listen to me right now.
That would have been he would have healed the whole land with that smack.
But the reason he didn't was because guess what? Every woman got the power of seduction. Right? And seduction is not a bad word. It's either you use it for good or use it for evil.
Women.
Huh?
And every man is weak when it comes to women.
And Satan knew that. The serpent knew that. Or he would have came straight to him himself, like, hey, bro, you want all power, bro? Men want power too.
That's the problem. That right there is the problem.
That is a problem. But the thing is, I'm put it in the hands of someone he can't deny. He can't say no to. Now, again, I'm not taking the onus off of him. I'm riding with that all day. It was on him.
Yeah.
But we can't ignore the brilliance of the serpent to say, yeah. And we can't deny that this has been happening to men of power forever.
Yep.
You better watch them shorties, gentlemen.
Don't watch me though. Let me still get my way. Sorry.
That's a terrible take. That is a terrible take. That's a terrible take.
It's time. It's harvest time. It is harvest time. See how you switch the Bible? See how you just change it up to fit what you need to.
Absolutely. So words is called a wordsman.
That's exactly what it is.
Let's do this. Tell people where they can contact you, and tell people what do you do? What services do you offer people in their lives? But I know you got the fitness and you got a whole lot of other stuff in you too. Let's share that before we get out of here tonight.
Absolutely. So I am the Core Queen, and I help individuals lose weight and get in amazing shape without starving yourself or spending hours a day in the gym. You can find me on the Core Queen Fitness page on Instagram or on Facebook. You can find me on thecorequeen.com, my website. If you need a fitness coach, I'm your girl. I can set up a consultation with you, see what your goals are, see if we're a good fit to work together. I'm actually in the process of creating a fitness app so that I can touch more people and I can be a little more hands-off with the program because I got way too many things going on. You can find me on the Core Queen chat on YouTube and on Facebook. I am live every Wednesday, 8:30 Eastern Standard Time. My podcast is about mostly mental health, childhood trauma, and I have a lot of different guests come on depending on the week, but we're focusing more and more on childhood trauma and mental health because I am a fitness and mental health expert. I'm also about to be featured on the Counsel Club. You can find it at thecounselclub.com. I am the fitness and mental health expert on that platform as well. And I just got picked up for, because I'm an actress as well, so one of my short films that I just produced and the lead star in, we just won another award in the Black Charlotte Film Festival, which will be screened on June 5th through June 8th here in Charlotte. It's our second award that we've won. And I think that's about it. I have a book coming out, but I'll let y'all know about that later. And I appreciate you having me on the platform.
Thank you so much. She has a masterful book coming out. I got a peep of it. I mean, follow Dee Dee Legette, y'all. Her book is incredible. Let me throw some stuff up before I go. Home Where Hurt Men Heal, brothers. Go grab this book. I ain't share this part of the story. 2022, I lost everything and found myself. I wrote this book on this cell phone in the car, sleeping in a car. I was homeless in 2022. And I sat back and I wanted to change men's lives while I didn't have anything. I wrote Home Where Hurt Men Heal on this book while I was homeless for 3 months. And I wrote this book to show men that home is not just a place. Home is clearing out and having the sanctity of your own mind. Every man, no matter what you don't have, you got to have this. So go home, go here, go back here. My newest drop is this one you see behind me, Dear Brother, the blueprint to becoming the man of your own dreams. That's my newest book. I'm going to throw it out here today. I'm going to drop it June 1st, but go to christianwinners.com. You want a signed copy? You can go get it. christianwinners.com. Visit christianwinners.com, everybody. I do coaching there, and I have a book for the women out there, The Soul of Sarah. I wrote this after I eulogized my mother. This book talks about the two reproductive systems women have, one spiritual, one natural. You can birth anything that you allow in this ear. That's why you got to protect your ear, because you'll begin to germinate and grow anything you allow in here. Finally, this last one, Removing the Shame. It's my free ebook. It's on my website, christianwinners.com. I taught a 3-part series called Removing the Shame. Then I decided to write the book based on what I taught. You can go get that right now, free of charge. It'll be in your phone, iPad, whatever you want it in tonight. All right. Dee Dee.
Yes, sir.
Thanks for coming through.
You're welcome.
I really appreciate it. Thank you for your wisdom. Thank you for your time. You do a whole lot, but thank you for cutting out some time on a Friday night to hang out with the Dear Brother and Dear Sister podcast. I really deeply appreciate it. Really do. Thank you so much. Well, everybody, it was a great Friday night. We'll be here every Friday night. We are searching for our permanent female co-host. So we're going to see what we can do. We're going to bring some other people up, see if they as good as Dee Dee. If they not as good as Dee Dee, y'all got to email me and say, nah, bruh. That's all the email got to say, nah, bro. But we're going to have different people every week. And by the fall, I want to lock in on a permanent guest. And once I get my permanent guest, the show might go to once a month, but it'd be a very big show with that permanent guest. But we're looking for a brilliant guest. But listen, everybody, thanks for hanging out. Always remember that you matter. You matter to me, but make sure you matter to you. Walk this life out every single day with no fear, no shame, and no compromise. Do that for yourself. Do that for your family. And like we end every show on both podcasts, yesterday was history and tomorrow's a mystery. All we all have is right now. What you going to do with it? What are you going to do about it? Hey, I love y'all. Thanks for hanging out. Until the next time, we'll see you soon. Bye, Dee Dee.